Now, I want to begin with why these objectives are worth pursuing. Why, regardless of whatever somebody tells you that it's over, it ain't over. They want you to believe it is over. We have lawyers who believe it is over. Lawyers who went to the same bad, prestigious institutions I went to, who were not told the truth. But I am not talking here some kind of crazy, radical thing, and I want to explain that to you. I don't want you to immediately say, oh, here comes Dave. He's one of those nullifier types or something. I want to walk you through what we can do. The other day, there was a statement issued by constitutional scholars urging resistance to Obergefell. It's in your materials. I would encourage you to read it. But one of the statements they made was this: judicial decisions, this is quoting Abraham Lincoln, who faced a little crisis of his own day, you may recall, Dred Scott. Judicial decisions are of greater or less authority as precedents according to the circumstances. Quote, if a decision had been made by the unanimous concurrence of the judges, Obergefell was not, and without any apparent partisan bias, we had 2 judges who had performed same-sex marriages, and in accordance with legal public expectation, not present here when 31 states had passed marriage amendments, many by overwhelming majorities, and with the steady practice of departments throughout our history. Yes, how long have we had a history of same-sex marriage, and had been no part based on assumed historical facts, which are not really true. Throughout the opinion, you will see the Supreme Court has stated that homosexuality is an immutable characteristic, a fact not proved. Or, if wanting in some of these, it had been before the court more than once. Now see, what's hidden there is that we keep saying, you know, we disagree. We're going to pass a law and challenge it again. And you know, maybe after 4 or 5 times of trying different ways to do the same thing, you finally say, we ain't going to win. But you don't quit playing the game because the other side scores first. They fired the first shot, and what I propose is that we engage in a little shock and awe. And I'll show you how. And there had been affirmed and reaffirmed through the course of years. See, they expect this struggle to not just be over. We tried once. It might then perhaps be factious, nay, even revolutionary, to not acquiesce as precedent. If, however, a decision is wanting all these claims to the public confidence, it is not factious to resist. The history we don't know. Is Obergefell settled law? The answer is no. Is there precedent for fighting a clear Supreme Court decision? Well, first of all, this is not clear. You had 4 of the strongest dissents that in my talking with constitutional lawyers and scholars and professors have said are some of the strongest dissents we've ever read. When Justice Scalia said, if I had to sign that opinion, I'd put a bag on my head, that's pretty strong. Sort of like the New Orleans Saints fans years ago that didn't want anybody to know they were at the game. But think about it. Dred Scott, did people just say, Actually, we wound up fighting a war. The resistance got so great. The flag burning cases, some of you will remember. Court struck it down. What did Congress do? Immediately came back and said, no, you're not burning our flag, and they passed a law. Now the court struck it down and they didn't come back, but they did resist. They didn't say, well, that settles that. They looked at the opinion, read what it said, and said, maybe we can do it this way. Think about abortion. As soon as they said abortion, what did we do? We started trying to pass everything we could to hopefully get something in front of the court where they might say, you know, we made a mistake, we should reverse it. We've been doing it for 30 years, and you know what? We're winning. If you came here today thinking, okay, I'm going to get the magic ticket, and when the legislature adjourns by next April, we will have won, then, you know, let's not waste any more of your time. We're not going to win. We're not going to reassert proper authority in 6 months. But think about partial birth abortion. In that case, Congress passed a law, said there is no reason to ever do this, and the Supreme Court struck it down. And Congress came back, had some more hearings, tinkered with a few words, sent it back up again. And the court said, we're not doing this, it's infanticide. And we won. And I would suggest to you, as Christians in America, that if we do not resist, we betray our heritage as Christians and as Americans. We exist as an independent nation because our colonial forefathers resisted abuses of authority by the crown. And throughout the history of the church, we have resisted abuses of authority because it's God's authority that's being abused, and He does not take it lightly. Ask Nebuchadnezzar.